welcome back. In the United States, about 65% of all people live within a 2-mile radius to a McDonald's. That's about 216,500,000 Americans, distributed over to about 13,500 McDonald's restaurants. But McDonald's isn't only represented in the US. McDonald's has locations in 100 more countries. But the probably most impressive thing is that you can buy the same items in every restaurant all around the globe. Of course, aside from local special offers that you can only find in a few countries, such as macaroni and cheese bacon sandwich in Hong Kong, or the McCurrywurst in Germany, or the rice chicken burger in Taiwan. But besides that, McDonald's is quite consistent. No matter where in the world you will enter McDonald's, you will always see the same branding, and you will find your trusted products such as French fries, chicken nuggets, or a Big Mac. But what's even more insane is that these classical items always taste the same, all around the globe. That's quite impressive, isn't it? That is because they're all made by the same recipe, which means that they all have the same ingredients, the same size, and the same quality. Because of that, it makes it perfect to compare two different economies. Of course, McDonald's, Mackey's, or McDo cannot charge the same price all around the globe, although it sells the same products. Let's take the Big Mac. In the United States, the Big Mac currently costs about $5.69. If you want to charge the same price for the burger, let's say in the Philippines, an average worker would have to work 176 minutes, while in the US, you only have to work about 10 minutes to afford one Big Mac. This is the so-called purchasing power parity. It defines how much money you have to spend to buy a certain quantity of goods. In our case, it defines how much dollars we have to spend to buy one Big Mac. If you would do this in two different economies, you could now compare these two prices, and with that, compare these two economies. An old-fashioned way of doing that would be to go into two different countries and buy a certain basket of the same products. Then you will calculate how much money you spent for that basket. You now get two different prices for the same basket, or at least the same goods. With the total price, you will now be able to compare these two different economies. The economists tried to simplify that whole process by using only one product, the Big Mac, if you would not have guessed it till this point. They use the Big Mac because it's always the same. It is so consistent. You can find it nearly all around the globe, and it is always made the same, with the same recipe, the same ingredients, which results in the same quality. But there's still a point missing. What can you do now with this information? Well, with the BigMax index, you can estimate the strength of a currency. Let us take a look on the top 5 countries on the Big Mac index, so the countries where the Big Mac is the most expensive. On first place, we find Switzerland, with a Big Mac costing $7.73. On place 2 is Norway, with $6.92. On the third place is Uruguay with $6.86. On the fourth place we find Argentina with $5.99. And on the fifth place the EU zone with $5.82. The countries where the Big Mac is the cheapest are South Africa with $2.81, followed by Egypt with $2.62, then India with $2.54, continued by Indonesia with $2.52, and on the last place, where the Big Mac is the cheapest, Taiwan with $2.39. In the US, the Big Mac on average costs about $5.69. With this information, we are now able to see which currencies, compared to the US dollar, are overvalued or undervalued. Let's take, for example, Switzerland, that we want to compare. For that, we have to put the two prices into US dollar. So we have to convert Swiss franc into USD, which we already did. Now we have to insert these two prices into this formula. If you take a look at the result, you can now see that the Swiss franc is overvalued compared to the USD with about 35%. But what does that help now? Well, it depends is the right answer to this question. If you're asking as an investor, you should now theoretically be able to see which currencies are going to be stronger or weaker in the future. Because theoretically, the Big Mac should be priced all the same all around the globe. So as an investor, you might see in which countries you want to invest and in which you probably shouldn't. But if you're asking as a traveler, you can now see in which country your money is worth the most. So in which country you can get the most for your money, and where it's going to be the cheapest to do a Big Mac eating competition. But as usual, the Big Mac index and the theory behind it also has some flaws. Only in theory, the Big Mac is going to cost the same all around the globe. There are many different factors that are going to prevent that in the near future, if not even forever. If you want to read more about this topic, I would recommend to head to Wikipedia. But for now, that's it from our side. Please hit that subscribe button so we can become the most subscribed Orion Productions channel. And also hit that like button if you're already doing it. If you have any other topics you would be interested in, just leave us a comment and we'll work on that.